Alrighty, so that should work perfectly. Yeah. Alright. right, good evening, everyone. Hope everybody is ready for some great action here tonight. We are at the wonderful track of Watkins, Glen. We are here tonight to present to you the NSR Skunkworks Xfinity Series, presented by the skunkworksgraphics.com, custom iRacing wrap shop and more. We're going to set up this evening and hopefully have a great night of racing. Hopefully these drivers can navigate Watkins Glen well enough here. Some drivers struggle through things as they bust off in turns one or the two areas I know I personally struggle with, and I've noticed some other drivers may as well. So hopefully as the night goes on, we see some great racing. Hopefully tough track to pass at. Take a look at the points here going into this evening. Ashton Crowder, they're out front with the points. Ashton Crowder out front with the points. Johnny Taylor there in second. Ashton Crowder with the first, with one win on the season. I think this is the second race into the season, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm thinking right, we are currently qualifying here at the Glen. Hopefully we're going to have some great racing here. As we see here finishing going through the pits here. Lucas Portman there in third, John Williams fourth. Keith on Sika there and Keith on Sika there in fifth. Alexander and Karn Nick. Sorry about that brief interruption there as we're getting ready to roll here tonight. You can see the points finishing there. We'll see if we can get our stats here to pull up. Things will smooth out as the season goes on here for me. Hopefully next week I got a second announcer with me, but we'll see how that plays out. But tonight this is the Boomer Button Box 200 presented by the Skunkworks Xfinity Series, presenting the Skunkworks Xfinity Series here at Watkins Glen. As we get ready for the evening here, let's go ahead and stand and present our nation's color.
Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner.
radio over here. I'm trying to get the grid up so we can see what the grid looks like for this evening. As we see drivers are taken to the track. Underway. We got Johnny Taylor starting on pole out of New England. We got Lucas Portman starting to his outside here. I'm sorry, in the third position. Yeah, second position is Lucas Portman. Third position is going to be starting Joey Beck, WJM Motorsports. And fourth position out of the Mid-South, that's going to be Derek Garrison. David Robertson will be starting fifth. Keith Fonseca there in sixth. Dakota Erdman is supposed to be starting seventh. Matthew Burton there in eighth. Lucas Nigel starting ninth. Glitter Kitty Racing. Alexander is here. There in 10th position. Down out your top 10 out of Canada. There in the 21st position. Back row sim racing, Stoney. And there in the 22nd position. Out of the road, 23rd is Alan Rowe. Sean Stevenson in the 24th position. Checkers and records. Looks like we got a 30-car field here. John Thompson in the 29th position, and Shane Mello in the 30th position, rounding out your field for this evening. Here, heading down here, getting ready for the Watkins. Chapman right behind him. Keith Watkins trying to move his way. Last corner they come. You see him coming down here into the final corner. Way out there in that operating track area, I should say. Down. First. Road here. Down in turn one again. That's the number 3, Johnny Taylor. Going back to the 666 up. Derek Garrison is slowly losing ground. Definitely losing ground at 666, I believe. As they come out, I gotta learn these turns here. Well, still have to take it back to Garrison. Garrison slowly losing ground. Look at those, still trying to come down the front here, come down to corner one. Corner one. Look at the working Joey Beck still sitting there in third. Cortman there and second. Getting up there now. He's starting to try to make a run here to number 3 as we head on down. I gotta figure these corners out. I only know turn 1 and the bus stop really, and then we got the final corner. Coming out here in the second final corner, as I call it. We have the 3 out front, 00 there in second. not as comfortably as this out here in fourth. Still trying to find a way to out there to battle for that top in the new top three. Lucas Gordon here following in the second position. Trying to stay with our leader, Johnny Taylor. Xfinity Series presented by Skunkworks Graphics here on the YouTube channel here this evening. Derek Garrison still back here in third. Lucas Knight back here onto the back of the bus stop. I've got my bearings correct. Some drivers, as you see, go through that bus stop right there. See how some of these drivers take that bus stop. The cars get a little bouncy coming through there as they hit the curve. So I try to keep control of the car as you're coming out of the bus stop as well. Number 3. Hopefully you can hear me better now. Didn't know if I had my audio set right before or not. So hopefully this works out a little better. Johnny Taylor is under fire from Gortman. We're on lap 8 out of 82. Matthew Burton there in the 33. Keith Fonseca there in the 61. Ryan Chapman there in the 7th position. Johnny Taylor there out there in the lead. Lucas Gortman still battling there for that lead as we're coming down to the bus stop now. 00 Lucas Gortman is still trying to get up there to the number 3 Exalta machine of Johnny Taylor. Trying to look back through the field here to see if we got any battles brewing, but I just do not see any. Everything seems quiet. Everything seems quiet so far as we're coming through the wide sweeping right turn. Okay, the number 3, Johnny Taylor, still out front. Gortman's there in second. Garrison still running third with Robertson losing ground, it seems, on that number 666. We're going to step away here for just a quick commercial break to thank our sponsors. We will be right back to Watkins Glen here in just a brief time here. Please stick around as we continue this race here at Watkins Glen. All right, we are back here at Watkins Glen. We're getting ready here to continue on. Johnny Taylor is still out front. Lucas Gortman there in second. Garrison sitting comfortably third. Robertson still trying to find a way to match those lines out the front three so he can get up there and battle out here at Watkins Glen as he comes around down through. Trying to figure out where out on the track he is. Oh, he just comes through turn one. He's coming up through the S's, coming towards the bus stop here. Everybody looks to be running fairly well. I think I saw Johnny Taylor, though, grab a few cars here. Some drivers just not having the luck they need. Or might not even just, they might just not be the quickest at road courses. I know for me personally, I'm about 5 seconds off of what some of the drivers I end up running with are. The number three coming down front stretch down here at corner number one. Gortman still looking in, trying to figure out if there's a way to get around the number three. Looks like he's sponsored by the Pony Setup Shop. That 00 McConey Setup Shop machine. Robertson there in the number four. He's .33, Matthew Burton. He's back here in the fifth position. He's going to have some problems, though. Looks like at 61 of Keith Fonseca is slowly rolling up on him. Might have just a little bit, Fonseca might have just a little bit better line getting through some of these corners. On board here with Keith out of Alta Vista, Virginia. As he gets right up there to that bumper of the 33. I don't think Burton was expecting that little bit of a hunt there. Now we're looking on board again with Lucas Gortman as he's still trying to find a way to figure out what the number three is doing a little differently. Get the lines figured out so he can run up there and try to get that lead away. But there's still a lot of race to go here as we are only on lap 13 of 82. Here comes David Robertson. He's still sitting fourth. Matthew Burton there in fifth. But there seems to be a few cars now trying to figure out how to get that spot away. As here comes the 9 of Colby Meese. A little while ago, he was up there in 10th position, but now he's up into the 7th. Alexandre Tesserier there in 8th. Nick Cannon is 9th. And rounding out our top 10 currently in that 43 machine, that is Ricky Uddy. Here we go. Ricky Utting there in 10th position up front, though. We still got the 00 and the 3 just kind of running away with it. You see how much room is between them and third place of the 666 of Derek Garrison, with a lap car in between them now. Let's see if we can figure out who that is. That looks to be the number 2, Brian Wiggins. Some of these drivers that might struggle here at the road course, you might see them excel at other ovals here later on in this season. David Robertson still sitting fourth, Garrison in third, Gortman there in second, still trying to find a way. Caution is out. Give me one moment here. I will figure out. I'll figure out what the caution was for. Just give me one quick moment here. See if I can get a hold of somebody that might tell me what brought out this caution. Alrighty, folks, so it seems like we had a problem with one of the drivers. I think it was the number 2 may have caused a caution, but again, I'm uncertain completely. I know it wasn't correct, but I have no way on my end to find it currently, so we're just going to have to deal with that for this evening. Hopefully next week it'll be better. As we see drivers pitting, it looks like the whole field that's on the lead lap is going to pit. As everybody that's a lap down seems to be just kind of sitting out, hopefully to get that lap back. Matthew Burton in the number 33, he's going to be your new leader. Johnny Taylor, who's been looking great out front, followed by Gortman. He's going to come out 5th out of the pits. Jeff Nairn up 15 spots from the start of this race. He's in the number 27 there. In front of him, that's going to be Nick Cannon. So your top 5 currently, Matthew Burton in the 33, and the 32 is Alexandre Tessier. Sorry if I'm butchering these names. Get with me with pronunciations, I'll figure it out as we go. Nick Cannon here in third, Jeff Nairn in fourth, and Johnny Taylor, he's going to round out the top 5. Looking a little farther back, Lucas Gortman there in 6th. Garrison in that 666, he's going to drop back to 7th position. David Robertson, he's going to be 8th position. Kobe Meese there in 9th, and Ricky Utting there rounding out your top 10. We want to thank Boomer Button Boxes for sponsoring the Boomer Button Box 200 here this evening at the Watkins Glen. I'm not the best road course racer, but I do enjoy this track. I'm not sure. It's hit and miss on road courses. You either enjoy them or you don't like to run them at all. And I enjoy them, but I know I'm super slow, so I got to find my speed somewhere. Matthew Burton, no, he's going to be the one that leads us to the green flag here shortly. I think we've got how many more laps to try to see if I can get a glimpse of the pace car here. Looks like we're going to go green this time by. I think the lights are off on that pace push as we see it here this evening. 33 and a 32 out front. Getting ready here to take the pace car, getting ready to bring them through that bus stop. Caution presented by Skunk Work. Driver getting ready, getting geared up. Couple more turns and then we'll be back at the start-finish line. We want to thank Skunk Works Graphics for coming on board and sponsoring the NSR Xfinity Series. Seeing some great looking paint schemes out here. Some of these drivers really putting time and effort into running the Xfinity Cars, it seems. Jeff Nairn there in the 27. He's 4th position. 5th position, Donnie Taylor. He's going to be the one to watch, I feel, here at the Glen. He seems to really know how the lines run. But the 00 of Lucas Gortman, he's got a good run going as well. Starting to the outside here of the number 3. Green flag is out there, back underway here for lap 18 of 22. Johnny Taylor is definitely making some moves, coming down into corner 1. Goes from 4th or something to clear up to 2nd. Now he sets his sights on taking the lead from the number 32. Leaving the 00 of Gortman back here at the back to battle through all this traffic that he didn't have to deal with earlier. Really a shakeup as Alexander Teasier now sets his sights on trying to stay with Johnny Taylor. Johnny Taylor's out front here in that number 3, definitely putting it to it here at Watkins Glen. Caution's back out on the speedway. Try to see if I can figure out where it might be. I'm getting no indications. Ricky Utting's missing a front bumper. So I'm unsure if he was involved with a crash, or if he was involved in an earlier crash, or if he was the cause of this caution. I'm unsure. Now back out front, Johnny Taylor is our leader once again. Matthew Burton there in third. Second is going to Alexandre Tessier there in that number 32. If you're watching, look out for your favorite drivers. They're scrolling across the top of your screen here this evening. We hope you're enjoying the broadcast as much as we enjoy bringing it to you. There's the 00 Coney setup shop. That's Lucas Gortman. He's back here in the 8th position. Didn't quite get the restart he wanted, but Johnny Taylor's most certainly did as he went from where he come out of the pits clear up to the lead once again. Jeff Nairn, he's up 13 spots from the start of the race. Looking a little farther back, Che Mello, he's up 16 spots since the start of this race. So currently, Che Mello is our biggest mover of the evening so far. Number 70, don't look like there's any sponsors on that machine yet. A few drivers coming into the pit road. Looks like we got Matthew Burton, Nick Cannon, Lucas Nigels, Sean Stevens, all coming down into pit road, maybe getting down the tires that we didn't get last time. Jeff Nairn sitting fourth, Kobe Mace in fifth. This is the NSR Skunkworks Skunkworks Graphics Xfinity Series. Hopefully next week when we hit the next track. Looks like next week we are at Daytona International Speedway for the Affordable SEO and Marketing 250. So that should be a great one to watch. I think this is the Boomer button box 200 here at Watkins Glen, giving us a total of 86 or 87 laps. The caution flag is currently covering up my lap, so I'm trying to figure out what we got left as we're finishing yet another Skunkworks Graphics caution. Looking to see them pace lights go out this time by so we can get back to green. Coming down into the S's. Taylor, Alexander, Derek, Jeff, Colby, Lucas, Lucas Gortman, I should say, all up there in your top 6 positions. Stoney Benfield there in 7th. Matt Wheeler there in the 12, up to 8th position. Keith Fonseca there in 9th, and Che Mello up 20 positions now, up rounding out your top 10. Coming back around, pace car is going to pull up and will set the field free at the green flag. As we just come out of that wide right sweeping turn, coming down to the second flat of one. Guess they call that the penultimate. Then you got the final turn here, making that final left turn onto that front stretch. See the green flags in the air as we're set to roll. Green flag back out. We are underway for lap 22 of 82. We have hit 60 laps to go. Down in the corner one they go. Johnny Taylor out front. The 666 out of Garrison. He's now trying to battle up here once again. Getting that bumper of the 3. The 9 of Colby Meese. Seen him battle his way up here to the top 3. Up 10 position from the start. Stoney Benefield there in 5th. He's up 17 positions. And Gorkman, he's trying to make his way back up. He's down 4 positions from his start of the race as he's working his way through the bus stop. But up front, we got a 3-car train. That is going to be Taylor, Garrison, and Meese. 1, 2, 3 as they come out of that wide right turn, coming down to the down into the penultimate. Right before they make that left turn, or I'm sorry, the right turn back down the front stretch. Garrison might have learned something sitting back waiting, or he might have just been trying to save his equipment. As Taylor has a problem. He's now dropped back to 3rd. I'm sorry, 2nd. He dropped back to 2nd. I thought he lost another position there. But Garrison out front. Taylor now in 2nd. Colby Meese there in 3rd. Alexander there in 4th. He's having a strong run here this evening. Up 6 positions. Stoney Benfield though, he's up 16, up in that 6th position. Matt Wheeler behind him there in the number 12. Matthew Burton there in 10. That is he's rounding out your top 10 of the field currently. A little farther back, you got Justin Coop there in 12. He's up 16 positions up. And Shane Mello is still battling to try to keep a hold of this race. He is up to 13th position, up 17 positions. Battling back here for that 13th position. That's Shane Mello. The 8 of Mark Ciccone. Not Ciccone. Sikoki. And Lucas Nigels in that number 21 machine. They're all battling back and forth, trying to get something rolling here. Garrison, though, he's taking this by storm right now out front here in that 666. Taylor led most of everything so far until this last caution. Garrison was able to get a good run coming off of turn 1. Or coming down to turn 1, I guess, I should say. And now the 3 has fallen back some. Colby Meese, though, he's up 10 position, up in that 3rd position. Wortman has finally made his way through some of the traffic that he ended up in coming through those cautions. He's now up to 4th, coming around for lap 25 of 82. Starting lap 26. I'm sorry, we are on lap 25, sorry. Lucas Gortman there in the doubles area. He just looks like he took a leap coming off and through the bus stop. Garrison, though, he's still out front of that number 3, Johnny Taylor. Johnny Taylor could be just hanging back, waiting for his chance to strike, and we know he can run this track very well as he led about 20 laps or more. Around 20 laps, I guess it would be. Not sure with the cautions, though. Colby Meese there and Johnny Taylor second, I've been saying. Wortman fourth, Teese Alexandri there and up to sixth. Stoney Benfield there in seventh. Bill Hills eighth. Matthew Burton there in ninth. And Matthew Wheeler there in 10th. He's going to be the one rounding out the top 10. Chip there in 11th. Mark in 12th. Lucas Nyers in 13th. Nick Cannon 14th. Justin Coop there in 15th. Jason Kratke there in 16th. Ashton Rhodes in 17th. As looks like Ashton Rhodes may, or no, that's not. That's Jason Kratke having some issues here on the backstretch. Trying to get it spun around, rolling again. Looks like he got loose. Coming up the corner. Having issues getting rolling here. We saw as he spun, he almost clipped another car, but it looks like he's going to get rolling here once again. We stay green. Johnny Taylor is now looking like he's going to try to gain some ground here on the 2. The driver taking some time to pit. Lucas Gortman is in the pits. Justin Coop there in the pits as well. I'm unsure what the capacities and everything are of these cars this evening on how to actually say to call the pit strategies for these drivers. I don't know if they're 50% fuel, 70% fuel. As I know here in iRacing, we can change the leaks can change how much fuel these drivers can hold. Looks like Taylor is tired of running second. He's now back up here battling for that lead, trying to get around Garrison as they come down here into the final corners. Taylor may try to make a run for it coming to that turn 1. This Taylor is right there, right on the bumper of the 666 down the front stretch. There he goes. He looks like he's looking to the inside. Ends up dirt tracking it around that first turn. Keeps it green, but loses a bunch of momentum. He's going to have to try to gain that back and get back up there to Garrison. Garrison now has a little bit of breathing room here as he moves down through the S's and up towards the bus stop. Watkins Glen not disappointing with some of the racing action that some of these drivers have to deal with. It is a technical track. I know it's drawn out because it is a road course. Not many people enjoy the road courses, so I'm trying to do my best to bring it to you the best way I can. Garrison out front, we see him here. Taylor here in second. Losing a little bit of ground. Oh, no, we don't quite have those cameras where we can see anything yet. Drivers aren't where I need them. So we lost the driver there for a moment. As we come down the front stretch once again. Coming down to turn 1. Our wonderful drone operator giving us some nice drone shots here of driver coming through turn 1. And then they come up through the SSO. I'm sorry about the trees. We don't quite have the cover here. Oh boy, our drone is in the trees. Oh, well, that'd be why there we go. We got our other drone working now. Coming down into that wide right turn. Heading down to that penultimate corner, one that I never figured out what to call it, but it looks like it's called penultimate. Right before the final turn, the 666 of Garrison still up front. Taylor's trying to make ground on him. If we put another lap in the books here, it's going to become lap 30 of 82. See that number 3, Taylor Exalta Machine, trying to chase down the 666 of Garrison. Back here, that's Alexandre Tissier. And I'm unsure. Maybe some of these drivers have not pitted yet. As I'm showing no pit lap for Alexander. And I'm not showing a pit lap here on my scorekeeping for Jeff Nairn. I'm unsure if they've come to pit road yet. And we've got Dakota Ehrman there in the pits currently. Colby Meese there in trying to figure out what the line is. These drivers up front are running. Johnny Taylor is still running well there in second position, trying to get that momentum back to run up there with Garrison. .666 coming down in through the last corner onto the front stretch. It looks like you got a little loose coming off of that final corner, coming down the front stretch towards turn 1 once again. Laps clicking by now as we get rolling. Lap 31 of 82. Keith Fonseca is going to round out the top 5. Top 4th is going to be Alexandre. Kobe Meese there in 3rd. Johnny Taylor 2nd. And Garrison is in 1st. But on that, it's going to be Matthew Burton in 6th. Bill Hill 7th. Lucas Nigels in 8th. Brett Wheeler just lost the position. He's now in 10th. Well, no, he's gaining it back. Nick Cannon, though, is who Matthew Wheeler is battling. These two side by side for that 9th and 10th position as they come up through the S's. Side by side. Lucas is going to give way, Matthew Wheeler, he's going to give way to that number 1 machine as they come up to the bus stop. We're on board now with Nick Cannon out of Cartersville. You see him here, we're coming down that stretch here to that penultimate turn down here to the final corner. Gets a little loose there coming through that penultimate. And away we come down the front stretch, up next to that outside wall. As the inside-outside are flipped on this front stretch compared to other tracks. Trying to keep it under him as he comes through that first turn. Got a little loose there, it seems like. Back up front, though, Johnny Taylor is still trying to find that line again to get back up here to Garrison as we're coming up onto the lap car of the 43, or we're coming up to the car of Ricky Utting. Gonna end up putting Ricky down a lap once they catch him. 32 of 82 laps complete as they cross the stripe this time by here with the NSR Xfinity Series presented by the skunkworksgraphics.com. And race is this specific race, though, is presented by Boomer Button Box. Here comes the number 3, Johnny Taylor, back up here, trying to find that line. Keith Fonseca, they're in that 4th position. Matthew Burton and Bill Hill's there in 6th. Lucas Nigel 7th, Nick Cannon 8th, Matthew Wheeler in 9th, and Jeff Nairn there in the 10th position. Who's going to take it home this evening? Stick with us and find out. Trying to find some battles. Currently, though, the 43 of Ricky Utting, he's going to go left down, letting that 666 by pretty easy. Now Johnny Taylor's going to find a way around the lap car of Ricky as he comes up to that final turn, heading to that front stretch. Let's hope he gets around him and doesn't do what he did with when he was trying to fight for that lead earlier, going into that first corner. Looks like he got a decent run, though. He's going to clear the 43 before he even gets to that first turn. Through the first turn, now back up through the S's. That's the 61, I believe. Or no, I gotta figure out who that black car is that's out in front of our leaders. As Garrison's putting some laps in. Taylor looked like he had a pretty good shot here early in this one, but unfortunately it looks like he's gonna have to race get a little bit more aggressive or something with these corners with Garrison out front like he is currently. Taylor did have a good run, but end up dirt tracking it through turn one. There a few laps back and ends up losing his momentum. Had to get out of the gas, get back into it, and now he's trying to chase down that 666 of Garrison once again. A little farther back, Kobe Meese there in third. He's pretty much all on his lonesome, but the 61 of Keith Fonseca, he's trying to chase him down as we're heading down into the penultimate. Down through the final corner comes the 61 of Keith Fonseca. Bill Hill's there in sixth. Lucas Nigel's in seventh. Nick Cannon in eighth. Matthew Wheeler in ninth. Mark Sikosi there in 10th. He's going to round out your top 10 currently. Back up front, though, that's Garrison in the 666. He's up 3 positions since the start of this race. Johnny Taylor, your pole sitter, he's down 1 as he's now currently sitting in second, trying to find a way to catch that number 666, but lap cars are coming up. Garrison needs to make quick work of them, put some lap cars between him and that second place to add a little bit of cushion, a little bit of time, and let him just get away. Down in the corner one comes the 666 of Garrison. Taylor trying to get onto him. Kobe Meese, though, is back here. He's got a little bit of gap between him and second place, but he's going to keep an eye on that 61 of Keith Fonseca. They're in fourth. Matthew Burton in fifth. Garrison still out front, leading lap 36 of 82. Currently here at Watkins Glen. And it looks like everything is calm here for lap 36. Lap 9, I'm sorry, not lap 9, but car 9 of Kobe Meese there in third. Still battling back and forth here for the lead. Johnny Taylor, he's trying to get back up here to fight with that 666, but I think that 666 has put a little bit of gap between him and the number 3, as that gap looks to be up to about 2 3/4, working its way to a 3-second gap. Taylor just needs to kind of stay calm, take it easy, not get too aggressive like he did there in that one corner. When Johnny Taylor got a little anxious, thought he could make that pass there on Garrison, end up dirt tracking through corner 1, lost his momentum. Now he's got to try to work back up, but he's slowly losing ground as he's now over a 3-second gap, trying to get back up there to Garrison. Kobe Meese, he's running currently in the 3rd position. last lap time of a 1:15.50. And our leader, I think, ran almost... Our leader, Garrison, ran 2 seconds faster than Johnny Taylor. So Taylor's got to keep an eye on him as he comes through down the stretch here. There he goes. Now Taylor's got a little bit better ground on him that time, as he ran a 1:14.28, where our leader ran a 1:14.43. So he's got to get some ground made up as we're working down here. Now he took that 3-second gap, got it back down to a man of working to bring it down. He's now almost down to a 2 1/4 gap, down to a 2-second gap now. Garrison still working out front, hoping to put more lap traffic between him and Taylor, as he knows Taylor can run this track pretty well, as he led quite a bit here at the beginning. But now it's been Garrison that's been leading quite a few. As we got another car coming up to be a lap car in the way of Garrison and Taylor. Looks like Garrison might be fighting a little bit of a loose race car. And we're riding on board, coming down into quarter one of Derek Garrison. Having a pretty good race here. Up 3 positions from the start. Colby Meese up 10 spots back here in third. He's still trying to find a way to get back up into fighting for these top 2 positions. But right now, I think the only one that has anything for Garrison is going to be that number 3 of Johnny Taylor. Make work of the lap car and get around him quickly. Or get around him a little quicker than what Garrison does. We see how these drivers take that bus stop. A little bouncing going through there. Down here into this wide right sweeping turn. I guess we call it down through the carousel, up here to the penultimate. Right before we get into the final corner. As the lap car is getting over, letting the 666 and the 3 by. Down the front stretch they come to make it we're starting lap 40 of 82. Down through the penultimate, now down through the final corner, down to quarter 1 here at Watkins Glen for the number 9. Here is up through the S's of goes Taylor and Garrison up to the bus stop, and then around the carousel. I guess like I said, I'm starting to get these names right for the turns. Hope everybody's enjoying the racing so far. It's been great being here for the Boomer Button Box 200 here from Watkins Glen, bringing you the NSR Xfinity Series is skunkworksgraphics.com. Next week they will be at Daytona International Speedway, and it looks like we had I guess that was another lap car getting out of the way. Or at least I hope it was. Taylor's got a car between him and the leader yet again. That's going to give Garrison a little bit of time that he needs to try to sneak away. Leaving Taylor to battle that lap car. Now Taylor finally gets around, coming up through the S's. Garrison still up front, finishing the S's, coming up to that bus stop. Colby Meese, though, looks like he's getting a little bit more company from that 61 of Keith Fonseca as they come down through the S's now, coming up to the bus stop. I think it's going to be our closest battle right at the moment here at Watkins Glen. Is with road courses, the drivers seem to get a little bit strung out. And you see in our camera view, way out front there. There's another car that's way back to the right. Currently, from this view, there's some more cars. It's just tough. Road racing is really hard to try to keep as a pack, as everybody's braking zones and everything is different. Definitely a learning curve for some drivers. Some drivers may not even run road courses on a normal basis. They'll run mainly the ovals. There's the three of Johnny Taylor doing a wonderful job there, keeping it in second position as Garrison's still out front. These lap cars are putting a little bit of distance between Taylor and Garrison. Every time that Garrison can get around one, that means Taylor then has to try to get around one. And now it looks like we got a group of two of them up here in that Garrison is coming up to. Garrison won out there in front. Johnny Taylor there in second. Colby Meese third. Keith Fonseca there in fourth. Matthew Burton fifth. Those are your top five. As Keith Fonseca is trying to battle to get up there into that third position. He's got around Matthew Burton, but now he's setting his sights on Colby Meese. Way out there coming through the carousel now as we come down into the penultimate, heading for that final turn here at Watkins Glen. We are 43 out of 82, so we are over halfway done with this race here this evening. As we're back up here watching that number 3 of Johnny Taylor. Down to the bus stop they come. Garrison's now up to the bumper of the two lap cars here. We'll see if we can get an onboard shot as he comes around these drivers. He's got around one. Now he's going around the second one. And away he goes. Now Johnny Taylor's got to try to come up here and make quick work of these two. He's made quick work of one. There he goes. Make quick work of the second one. Now Garrison is now who he has his sights on yet again. As we come through the penultimate down here to the final corner. Down on to the front stretch, heading to that right turn for turn one. Normally for these drivers, they're used to making left turns. They're not used to turn one being a right-hand turn. Down here, down into the S's they go, heading up to that backstretch. Colby Meese there in third. Keith going to try to get around at the 9 as he comes down toward that front stretch. Down into turn one they come. Garrison heading into the bus stop as Taylor now goes into the bus stop, trying to get the battle going on here. Around they go. Got around the carousel, now up to the penultimate. Heading for that final corner. Comes Garrison and Taylor. Taylor's still trying to close that gap on Garrison, and he's getting there slowly. He don't want to burn his equipment up too fast. Otherwise, once he gets there, he still needs to pass and hold that lead. So he's gonna play a little bit of strategy not to burn his stuff up too quickly and have something for Garrison here to hold him off once he gets around him as we come down into corner one yet again. Back up through the S's comes Garrison and Taylor. Back here for third, though, Keith Fonseca did get around Colby Meese, so Colby Meese falls back to fourth. Matthew Burton, though, he's now going to try to get up to somebody to try to make some position. Lucas Nigel's there in sixth. Nick Cannon there in seventh. Mark there in eighth. Che Mello up 21 spots from the start of this race. He is now sitting in ninth. Matthew Wheeler up 11 spots, sitting in 10th. Scott Schroeder in the 12th spot. Stoney Benfield is going to take the 11 spots away from Scott Schroeder. Scott Schroeder is another car that looks to be a little bit struggling here this evening. As you see, the front bumper is gone off of that 74 machine. Kind of matching that 43 we saw, as the 43 is missing the front bumper as well this evening. Trying to figure out who's in front of the 43. That looks to be the 54. So I'm not sure who's the one missing the hood, but we got one car missing the hood. That's going to be the 4 of D. Allen Grote. He's going to be missing the hood this evening. So he's going to have some struggles. Must not have had them hinges and pins on that car too tight. Back up front, though, Taylor is trying to make some ground, getting a pretty decent run here. Coming up onto Garrison, coming towards that bus stop. And they're coming through the bus stop here this lap on 46. Down into the carousel they go. Here comes the 3. He's going to try to make that run at Garrison. Down through this stretch of asphalt down into the penultimate. Right before they go into the final corner here is the 3 going to try to make a run. Going down to turn 1. If he does, can he make it stick? Unlike the other time he got up here and tried it and ended up going through the dirt and sliding dirt track racing style through the grass, not making it stick enough to make the pass work. Garrison got to start looking at that back bumper, because here comes the number 3 of Taylor. He is slowly and methodically working his way up there, just making sure he hits all his marks. Trying to battle up here for that lead. Again, we want to give a shout out to NSR Xfinity Series, brought to you by the skunkworksgraphics.com. And this race brought to you by Boomer Button Box. Garrison's still out there in the lead. Taylor, though, he's slowly trying to get up there. We'll see if he can use a lap car to pick if he's got one as they're coming up on a couple here in the next couple laps. But Taylor might not want to wait that long. Taylor may want this lead from Garrison as we come down the front stretch, back down into corner 1. I think Taylor is slowly thinking that he's using that turn a little bit more methodically now, not dive bombing it like he tried that last time when he went for the pass on the 666. As we said, he went through the grass, dirt tracking, and lost all his momentum. He don't want to do that again. He wants to keep the momentum he has rolling forward and try to pass the 666. But it's not easy to pass at a road course. There is pretty much one fast line around, and it looks like we have a driver in the grass back there. Not sure who that was. Trying to see if I got any information on who might have spun out, but I do not. Garrison, though, still out front. Taylor there in second. Is Taylor going to get Garrison stuck behind that lap car? These lap cars here this next lap. As Garrison gets up there, he's going to try to get the pass done quickly. That way he can put that lap car between Taylor and Garrison, because that seems to be the only thing that gives him a little bit of a gap, is putting a lap car between the two of them. But Taylor, he's going to make sure that he doesn't lose ground so that he can stay there with Garrison and have something for him. Coming through the S's now. 3 looks to back off a little bit off of Garrison as he gets a little bit of a run now coming up towards that bus stop. I wonder if Taylor's just kind of playing cat and mouse right at the moment, waiting for his chance to strike, waiting for his chance to get into a corner better than the 666 as they're coming up on a slew of lap traffic here. That is the 9 of Kobe Meese. I thought Kobe was up there towards the front. Now he's falling back. That's okay. Kobe Meese went in for a pit stop at lap 46. That's why he's a little bit further back. Same with Alexander. Alexander went and pitted at lap 32, so he's a little bit farther back here. So they're going to keep an eye on these leaders of Derek Garrison and Johnny Taylor. As last time they pitted was lap 15. So there's a couple different pitch strategies going on now. Now that the third spot position is sitting at 61 of Keith with Fonseca. Matthew Burton there in the 33. He's sitting in fourth. Lucas Nigel's in the 21. He's in that fifth position. Shea Mello doing a great run this evening. He's going to be sitting in eighth position, up 22 spots from his start of the race. Just in front of him is Mark Sikosi. Nick Cannon there in sixth, just in front of him. Matthew Wheeler in ninth. Stoney Benfield there in 10th. Benfield looks to be looking at the back bumper of the 12 of Matthew Wheeler as we're continuing on here at Watkins Glen, lap 50 out of 82. There comes Garrison. Looks like Garrison slowly catching up to the back of the top 10. So top 10 better start watching themselves as Garrison and Taylor are slowly working the way up as they get around Schroeder in that 74. Kobe Meese may want to watch himself as here comes the leaders of Garrison and Taylor. They're going to look to put Meese a lap down. Meese was having a good run until he made the pit stop there at lap 46. Once you go a lap down on a road course, it's very tough to try to get that lap back. Like I said, there's usually one fast line around these tracks here, like Watkins Glen. And if you're not hitting your marks or hitting the marks for the track correctly, you're not going to be one of the fastest drivers here. Like you're seeing Garrison and Taylor out front. Here comes Keith, though. He's doing pretty well sitting there in third. Matthew Burton pulls off. He's going to the pits. Lucas Nigel's there in fifth. Nick Cannon sixth. So once they pass Matthew here on the front stretch, that's going to move those two up to be your top five. As Matthew Burton is sitting on pit road currently getting some service. Brian Wiggins and John Thompson are also on pit road getting some services done. They are lap cars though, so they're a little farther back in the field. Here comes your leaders. Oh boy, Garrison and Taylor end up almost getting into one another there on the inside wall. Here comes Keith. He's going to come down here through the, just getting off the carousel, coming through. I guess Keith is coming, yeah, here he comes down through the penultimate corner, down into the final corner. We'll see if he takes pit road. Keith does. Now that leaves Lucas. He pitted at lap 19. We'll see if these other drivers like Shea Mello, he also pitted at lap 15. Will he come in for service? It seems like that's the pit window everybody is hitting right now. Everybody that pitted at lap 15 has been coming in. We'll see if that's a trend as they come out of the carousel, coming down to that penultimate corner. Down into the final corner they come. Derek Garrison, Johnny Taylor, back off of pit road. They should be set to roll the rest of the way here this evening. Here comes the 70. Looks like he will make that pit stop. Garrison, though, he's going to be coming through the bus stop. He may be putting a few of these drivers that are made the late pit stops here a lap down. As Shea Mello is in the pits. Matthew Wheeler is in the pits. Stoney Benfield is also in the pits. They're your 11th, 12th, and 13th positions, respectively. They're going to drop down through the grid. Mello is out, Wheeler is out, and Benfield still sitting on pit road. So Garrison and Taylor, they're going to have to watch themselves as they come down into corner one, watching themselves in that merge point. As you see the drivers coming out of pit road, they're going to have to make sure they give a little bit of leeway to the leaders going by. There's your rep, Matthew Wheeler, Shea Mello, and Stoney Benfield was still on pit road yet. So Garrison's working around Mello now. There's Taylor. Taylor's going to try to get around Mello. He does. A lot of cars here they're trying to work through. There's a solid black car in front. That's going to be the 44 of Sean Stevens going a lap down. Jeff Naren, he's going to be the next victim here of Garrison, the way Garrison and Taylor are running this race. Lucas Nigel's a little farther back. He's your third place position. Nick Cannon, he's going to be up there in fourth. So we're going to need to keep an eye on those guys. As they pitted lap 19, they might need to be coming in for some fuel and tires here soon. As it looks like everybody that pitted on lap 15 has pitted. So we'll have to keep an eye on, see if Nick Cannon comes pit road as he's now coming out of the carousel. Nigel's there in third. He's going through his penultimate corner, coming down to the final corner here at Watkins Glen. We'll see if he stays down. Looks like he's going to take the corner. He's going into the pits. Here comes Nick Cannon. He will be in the pits. As the 3 and 666 are still battling lap cars coming down into the bus stop. Taylor is hoping that he can get around Garrison somehow, but battling the lap cars are really hurting to try to make some room there. As Keith now is back up there in your third position. Alexandra fourth. Kobe Meese up to fifth. I thought he would have been a lap down, but he's now up to fifth. Matthew Burton, he's sixth. So we'll see if more drivers go a lap down here, as looks like 666 of Derek Garrison is coming out of the final corner. Scott Schroeder's on pit road. We got a couple others that were leaving pit road. There's Lucas Nigels and Matthew Burton, or I'm sorry, Nick Cannon. Not sure how far ahead of our leader they are, but they could fall victim here soon as Lucas Nigels and Nick Cannon coming down to the bus stop. As the two front runners of Garrison and Taylor are making their way out of the S's and making their way up to that wonderful bus stop here at Watkins Glen. Dipping into the bus stop goes 666, Johnny Taylor in that number 3 right behind them as they come down into the carousel. Taylor is right there. He's trying to get to where he has some way of making a way around. There's the 9 of Colby Meese, Alexandri, and the number 4 or position in that car number 32. Third, that's going to be Keith Fonseca. Johnny Taylor still trying to find a way to get around the lap cars and still get around Garrison, where now Nigels is going to be the next victim, possibly, of Garrison. Garrison now is working his way past turn 1 up through the S's. Nigels, though, he's just finished coming through the S's, coming up to that bus stop. So you can see the distance here is closing, I think, between Nigels and Garrison, as Taylor is sticking right with them. Lap times here about 1:12. So if you see on your interval counter there, a driver that's close to that 1:12, they're going to be the drivers you need to watch going a lap down. So like Cannon and Nigels, they're both at 1:05, 1:06 for Nigels. They're just basically about 6 seconds, maybe 7 seconds ahead of your leaders, as the leaders now come through the penultimate corner, coming down to your final corner here, heading back onto the front stretch. Going to make a lap 57 of 82 this time by. Johnny Taylor sitting in second. Keith now working his way out of the carousel, coming down to the penultimate. So there you see the gap between first, second, and third. Third is way back down here, still has to complete the lap, where Garrison and Taylor have just finished the carousel. They're rolling up on the number... Oh, I gotta figure out. That's not the number 21. Number 21's up front a little farther. I'm not sure who that is. That's already a lap car, so I'm not sure who that is as they come out of the carousel. Down into the penultimate comes Taylor and Garrison. Keith is still rolling back here. He's coming up through the S's now. Alexander Tresser, he's rolling through the S's. Garrison and Taylor taking the front stretch. 26 laps to go. Now make that 25 to go here at Watkins Glen for the NSR Skunk Works Xfinity Series. Taylor, he's going to try to stay to that back bumper of that 666. Making it to where he can have a run as we wind down the laps here at Watkins Glen. That 3 and 666 battling for that front two positions. I think the 3 is definitely kicking himself over that moving main in turn 1. Now he's just trying to methodically play it out here. I think he's playing cat and mouse definitely with the 666s. He gets close, then he backs off. Back here though, Alexandre and Keith Ponesca are still trying to get through this lap. As Alexandre is out front, or I'm sorry, coming down to turn 1. Keith is coming up through the S's, where Taylor and Garrison are coming through penultimate, coming down to the final corner. So, I mean, there's a huge gap between, there's a 30-second gap between Taylor and Keith. So, I'm unsure how that's going to play out. There's a half a second gap between Taylor and Garrison. And the gap to Keith is growing. As the others are going the other way, I think. Alexandre, he's back almost on the 48-second mark to the leader. Colby Meese, he's back to the 50-second mark. Nick Cannon is lapped down. Lucas Nigels, he's going to be the next one to lap down. Not too far ahead of the leaders. Alexandre is in the pits, making his pit stop. So he's going to go lap down as the leaders now come out of the carousel, coming down the penultimate. They're going to be heading into the final corner here as Alexandre is still on that pit road. Alexandre in the pits as the leaders come roaring by him. That's going to leave 6 cars on the lead lap. Nigels, though, he's coming through turn 1, and here comes the leaders down into turn 1. So Nigels might be the next victim here to go lap down. That's going to put 5 cars on the lead lap. Your top 5: Garrison, Taylor, Keith, Colby Meese, Matthew Burton. Those are your top 5. Garrison still out front. Taylor there in second. Keith Ponesca there in Fonseca there in third. Taylor and Garrison have definitely ran away with this one. 23 laps to go. 22 next time by. As we're heading down now through off of the carousel down into the penultimate here at Watkins Glen. Nigels might need to be moving over. He might be getting that blue and white move over flag here soon, as there's only less than a second. Well, here we go. And oh no, can he still roll? No, he's in the pits. So that's going to move Nigel back to the 18th position. Garrison out front, Taylor there in second, Keith in third, Colby Meese in fourth, Matthew Burton there in fifth. Keep an eye on these drivers as that gap seems to be growing between these spots, as Garrison and Taylor have definitely put the foot down and have run away with the race so far. Thank you to everybody that's tuning in to this episode of Flick Reform TV on the pole, bringing you the NSR Xfinity Series skunkworks.com. I'm sorry, the NSR skunkworks.com Xfinity Series. This race brought to you by the Boomer Button Box. Down in the penultimate they come. 22 laps to go. They're going to make it 21 laps to go this time by. A few of these drivers may have struggled with an incident limit tonight, and that might be why they're parked on the pit road. Currently, John Thompson and Lucas Nigels might have struck an incident limit point tonight here at the Glen. That could be why we saw Lucas leave the track so quickly and abruptly there as he's sitting on pit road. Garrison now out front, Taylor second, Fonseca there in third, Meese there in fourth, and Burton rounding out your top five. And the top five are your only five on the lead lap currently. As here they come through the bus stop, Burton is coming down in the penultimate. So how quickly do you think this gap's going to change between these drivers here this evening? We will have to wait and see. As the 666 comes down in the corner one. Or I'm sorry, down in the penultimate. Here comes the three right behind him. That's the three of Johnny Taylor. Down into the final turn. Here we go, down the front stretch one again. We're going to make it 20 laps to go this time by. Matthew Burton up through the S's. Derek Garrison now down through turn one. Taylor through turn one. They're both now coming up through the S's. As you see the drivers here up through the S's. Now they're heading back to the back straight. Then towards the bus stop. There you've seen the 61 of Keith, I think. Or maybe not. That might have been the... it might be the 61 of Keith. No, it wasn't. I think these guys are coming through the carousel. I'm not sure who that was there. Keith coming out, coming down onto the front stretch. Here comes Johnny Taylor and Garrison. They're coming off of the penultimate, down in the corner, down into the final corner. Back onto the front straight they come. Matthew Burton making it through turn one. Here comes the leaders. They're coming down towards turn one as they scream by the flag stand, making it 19 laps to go. Taylor there in second, still beating on that back bumper, it seems, with the 666, trying to find a way to get around Garrison. We're on board with Taylor currently as he comes up through the S's, heading towards that bus stop here at Watkins Glen. You can hear him downshift as they come here into the S's. We're riding with the driver cam, so you'll see kind of a little bit about how that car moves as we come down into the carousel. That wide sweeping right turn of the carousel. You want to make sure you don't put the power down too quickly as you will spin the car out. Out front here, this is Garrison. Garrison's coming up onto a lap car. That's the number 4 of D. Allen Goat, I believe, as he passes him coming down into the final corner. They both get around him very quickly. Burton down up through the S's now. Here comes the top 2 leaders of Garrison and Taylor. They're coming up through the S's. And Keith, he's now back here. Gets through turn one. He's going to start his climb up through the... No, I'm sorry. Keith is back here farther. He's back trying to get through the penultimate. as here comes the leaders. 33 of Matthew Burton. He's running like a scared dog as he knows Garrison and Taylor will be coming. How many cars can how many cars can Garrison and Taylor put a lap down here this evening, as they've already put all but 5 cars. We started with 30. We're down to 5 cars in the lead lap here, in the ending laps here. 18 laps to go. 17 to go, and they cross the stripe this time. Taylor's running out of time, trying to make sure he sticks to that back bumper. Less than a half a second between first and second, as they're now fighting their way up through the S's, heading towards the bus stop. This is going to be the battle here for the win. We'll see how this plays out as the laps wind down here at Watkins Glen for the NSR Skunk Works Xfinity Series Boomer Button Box 200. Coming through the bus stop they come, Garrison and Taylor, front to back, coming down now to the carousel. On the carousel they come. Matthew Burton, no, he's just now getting the penultimate. There you see the leader way back there in the screen. They're coming down to penultimate. Matthew Burton, Colby Meese, they could be in striking distance soon, as Colby just went down through turns 1. Derek Garrison and Johnny Taylor, they've headed down off the stripe, coming down into turn 1. Keith Boneska, he's now into the pits. Jeff Darren is on his way out of the pits now. He's a few laps down. Now there's 4 cars on the lead lap. That's Derek Garrison, Johnny Taylor, Colby Meese, and Matthew Burton. But Matthew Burton, he's back there quite a ways, and he's going to be in jeopardy. This could come down to just Garrison and Taylor, as there's over a minute gap between your front 2 leaders and the next 2 cars on the lead lap of Colby Meese and Matthew Burton. There you see it. There comes Derek Garrison coming through the carousel, coming down into the penultimate, where Matthew Burton and Colby Meese just were. They've now made it through the final turn. They're coming up across the stripe. They just clicked for 16 laps to go, as the leaders are coming around and make it 15 to go. Into turn 1 to go. The number 3 is running out of time. 15 laps to go here at Watkins Glen for the Boomer Button Box 200. Colby Meese and Matthew Burton are starting to really going to have to run like scared dogs. As the scared little dogs, I should say, as the big dogs of Derek Garrison and Johnny Taylor are coming for them. As they now mix it into the S's, they're coming up to the bus stop. Colby Meese and Matthew Burton have just finished the bus stop. And here comes our leaders. They're working their way through the bus stops themselves. They're coming down through the carousel. There's the 33 of Matthew Burton. He made it through the carousel. And here comes the leaders. Quite a gap here between first or second and third, let alone first, second, and third and fourth. And there you see third. He's coming around the final corner. And here comes Garrison and Taylor. They're coming around to get their final corner. That's the 78 back there of, I think that's 78. I gotta make sure that's correct here on my scoreboard. I don't think it is. It's a Toyota. Oh, there it is. I finally found it. That's the 78 of Tacoma Ermin. As he's trying just to salvage what race he can. Back up front, though, it's Garrison and Taylor. There you see Matthew Burton getting started through the S's, and here comes, or I'm sorry, through the bus stop, and here comes Garrison and Taylor. They just went through the bus stop, down through the carousel. They all come. And no, the 666 and the 3 end up spinning around, coming down into the carousel. Don't worry, though, they got plenty of time to get rolling again. Now there's over a minute between them and Colby Meese. Man, Matthew Burton. Matthew Burton was probably happy to see that. As now that gives a little bit of cushion between them and the leaders. But I don't know how much gap it will give as there's 14 to go. They could still end up catching. But unfortunately, that's going to hurt Johnny Taylor's chances here, as he's now almost 7 seconds back, so he's really got to work for it to get back up here to Garrison. Garrison now through turn 1, coming up through the S's. Matthew Burton and Colby Meese getting through the bus stop. Garrison coming off the S's, working his way up towards the bus stop. A little bit more of a gap now. Burton off of the carousel. Here comes Garrison. He's in the carousel. Burton down in the penultimate. Here comes Garrison. He's going to be coming down to the penultimate. So really, can he get something put together here? As I don't know if Taylor does anything for him now, as he's now come through the carousel, heading down to penultimate. We'll have to see if he can get those laps to click down some. Alright, the seconds to click down some as we get to 12 to go. This time by for Derek Garrison in that number 666, heading down into corner 1. Johnny Taylor now comes across the start-finish line. 7 seconds between him and the leader. Matthew Burton, he's now got a little bit more of a gap as he's now coming down to the bus stop. I don't think Garrison's pushing quite as hard. Now it seems like he's understood there is quite a gap between him and this second and the rest of the field, I should say. As his only competition really was Johnny Taylor in that 3. So now Garrison can take a breath, kind of back off a little bit, and just kind of slowly finish this race. As Taylor is going to have to push, though, to try to make up some seconds. But Garrison has definitely slowed off the pace a little bit. That way he can methodically get around some of these guys. There you see Keith back on track. Unfortunately, he's got some trouble there with that 61. I'm going to give way to the leader of Garrison, coming through the penultimate, down here into the final corner. Down across the start-finish line they come. 11 laps to go here at Watkins Glen. And here we go. Out through the corner. Colby Meese now down through the down through the carousel. Taylor a little beaten up, coming through the bus stop. Garrison coming through the carousel. Colby Meese down there through the penultimate, so Garrison still could end up catching these next 2 guys, as they seem to slow down a little bit off the pace. Whoa, and the Meese gets loose. Burton goes around. That's going to help close the gap between them and Garrison. Down through turn 1. Garrison comes down, makes it 10 to go. He comes down to turn 1. Up through the S's comes the Matthew Burton and Colby Meese. That's the battle for 3rd and 4th. As the battle for the lead has kind of dwindled away after the accident between Garrison and Taylor coming down into the bus, or coming out of the bus stop, going through the carousel. Into the bus stop goes Burton and Meese. Garrison coming up to the bus stop himself. Hope everybody is enjoying the race here at Watkins Glen. Next week should be a great race as well, as we are at Daytona International. Number 9, Colby Meese. He's there going through the final corner. Garrison's here. Where is Mark? Mark is there in 6th. Alexandria in 5th. Colby Meese is 4th. Matthew Burton in 3rd. Johnny Taylor 2nd. And Garrison in 1st as he just come through the corner. Coming down that front stretch. Come across the stripe and makes it 9 laps to go down into quarter number 1. Johnny Taylor now takes the stripe himself. Matthew Burton, no, they're coming through the S as Garrison. I don't know if Garrison's really pushing the issue here, as he is making as Taylor is trying to get some time made up here. Garrison just slowly kind of working his way, kind of took his foot off a little bit, kind of letting the car drive itself for a moment. I think he's working through that pit bus stop. Johnny Taylor, though, he needs to make sure he's making the moves to get back up there, as he's cut it from a 7-second lead down to a 4-second lead. Both those drivers pitted at lap 51. Nigel's Coop, Brian Wiggins, they're on pit road currently. Unfortunately, though, everybody seems out of contention except for Taylor. If Taylor can find a way to get back up there to battle Garrison for that first spot, as they're both on the front stretch, coming down into corner number 1. There comes Garrison, there comes Taylor, down into turn 1. Burton now up through the S's with Meese. Meese up through the S's. Here comes Garrison. He's coming down through the S's himself. 8 laps to go here at the Glen. Down through the bus stop goes Garrison. Here comes Taylor. He's gotten his shot at the bus stop. Matthew Burton, he's coming off of the carousel. So does Colby Meese. Garrison and Taylor are coming off. And there's the 4 car getting in the way a little bit again for that 66. But these drivers are very considerate. They do move out of each other's ways. You'll see the 4 go high, the 66 goes low, letting the leader by. Now Taylor will be coming up on him, and that 4 will do the same thing for him. He'll move out of the way, as he knows he's got no shot at winning this, with now 7 laps to go here at the Glen. About a 3.5 second lap or gap between, bounce between 3.5 to 4 second gap between Garrison and Taylor. So Taylor's still got some work to do if he's wanting to catch Garrison. Burt, no, he's up here getting ready to come through the bus stop. Here comes Garrison. He's rolling off of the S's, coming down to the bus stop himself. Off the bus stop comes Matthew Burton. There's Colby Meese, and there's Garrison. Garrison might get to Colby Meese here before too long, as there is a minute 12 between them, and Garrison's last lap time was a minute 14. So with Colby Meese, his gap is at 1:13. That means there's only a second between Colby Meese and Derek Garrison. So Garrison might need to just pull over and let Garrison by, and fight again next week at Daytona. Taylor coming down front stretch. He's got the lead down still around that 3.5 to 4 second mark as he comes down into that corner 1. 666 of Garrison still out front. Matthew Burton there in 3rd. Only your top 3 on the lead lap, as Garrison, Taylor, and Burton are your top drivers right now. But Garrison 6 laps to go. He still could end up trying to get towards that front or that third position and putting him a lap down, and that would just leave Garrison and Taylor on your lead lap by the end of this. We'll have to see, though, if Burton can run away or not. We'll have to see. And there comes Garrison down the stretch, down into the penultimate, coming around to the last corner. There comes Taylor. He's down here into the last corner. Off of the final corner comes Burton. Garrison getting ready to come off of the final corner himself. Minute 10 gap between Garrison and Burton. And like I said, Matthew Burton, or Derek Garrison is running about a minute 14. Taylor's running about a minute 14. Matthew Burton running a minute 15. So he's going to lose some gap here. He's slowly losing gap here to the Garrison then, but those 2 lap cars are going to slow Garrison down possibly as they come out of the S's coming down towards the bus stop. That black car kind of impeding the 666 way a little bit. Coming down to the carousel. He goes high. He's going to give way to the leader. 5 laps to go. They'll make it 4 laps to go when they come to the stripe this time. Matthew Burton now is seeing Garrison in his rearview mirror with 1 minute 12-second gap between him and Garrison. Taylor, not sure he can get up there to battle for that lead, as there's now 2 more lap cars between him and Garrison, and Matthew Burton couldn't make a third. Down through corner 1, now up through down through corner 1, up through the S's. I got a little confused where I was at on the track. There goes Burton. There goes Garrison. And then back behind here, there goes Taylor. Those are your top 3 drivers right now as it stands. As now Taylor gets around lap traffic of the 43. Coming down into the bus stop. Matthew Burton's got to keep looking at his rearview mirror because there comes Garrison. There is now almost a minute 13, which puts him at less than a second ahead of our leader. As we come down through. Coming down through here, there's the 666 of Garrison. Johnny Taylor there in second. Matthew Burton, he's looking in his rearview mirror, seeing that 666 of Garrison come about. As Garrison looks like he's got that thing on rails, set to sail to the finish of this one. But Taylor may try to get somewhere with it as he's now down to a 2-second gap between him and Garrison. Not sure though if it is enough. We'll have to see if Burton holds him up at all. As Garrison is there coming into the bus stop. Burton right in front of him. Will Burton give way or will he try to hold him up? Looks like he'll give way to the leader. Now it leaves just 2 on the lead lap of Garrison and Taylor. Taylor around. We'll have to get around Burton here soon if he wants any chance of catching Garrison. With less than 2 seconds between him and the leader, he's going to make quick work of Burton. Now he's losing ground again. He's coming. Garrison out of the final turn. 2 laps to go here at Watkins Glen. Burton still between Garrison and Taylor. There's the 31 giving way for the leader. Now there's 2 lap cars between Taylor and Garrison. With 2 laps to go, I'm unsure if Taylor has anything to get back up there to Garrison. Taylor had a great run here this evening, leading a good portion there at the beginning After the 2 cautions, though, it became Garrison who ran away with the show. Here with 2 laps to go, Garrison's still up front, so Garrison's going to make sure he's hitting his marks so he doesn't end up getting into a sticky situation and losing it as we're coming through the carousel. Coming up to the penultimate corner, Johnny Taylor, 2 seconds back. Can he make that 2 seconds up in a lap? I don't think he can, as the lap times are too close. Because he needs to make up a second a lap in order to get up there to Garrison. I just don't see that possibly happening unless Garrison somehow screws up, as it is now the final lap. And the final lap is brought to you by Top Split Setups. For the Top Split Setups, 1 to go. Here at Watkins Glen, the 666 of Derek Garrison and Johnny Taylor are your only 2 on the lead lap as they're coming up through the S's. Down the backstretch. Heading into the bus stop they come. Here they come down through the S's down through the bus stop for the final time. Comes Garrison and Taylor. Taylor trying to make some ground up here with a second and a half split between him and Garrison. I just don't think it's going to be enough. I think this one's going to be all Garrison, as long as Garrison doesn't give the gas too hard coming out of the penultimate or coming out of the final turn. Taylor definitely giving it all he has, as he's now down to less than a second between him and the leader. Giving it quite a shot here, but just a little bit too late, as with the 1 to go out right now. We're Top Split, presented by Top Split Setups. It will be the 666 of Derek Garrison for the win here at Watkins Glen, followed with Johnny Taylor in second, and Matthew Burton will round out your top 3 for your top 3 podium finishers here this evening. We'll see if we can get with one of our top 3 drivers here. As Garrison celebrates his victory. Waiting to see if anybody shows up, because I'm not sure how. This is a little bit new territory for me here with the NSR. First night with them. Still learning about a little bit how they work here. Great show tonight, though, by Derek Garrison in the Boomer Button Box 200 here at Watkins Glen to bring away the win. And Johnny Taylor, Matthew Burton to end out your top 5. So here at the end, we're going to bring up our final results here. Derek Garrison there is your winner. Johnny Taylor second. Matthew Burton will end out third. Colby Meese there fourth. Alexandria there in fifth. Mark Sikosi there in sixth. Matthew Wheeler in seventh. Che Mello in eighth. Stoney Benfield there in ninth. Scott Schroeder will end up rounding out your top 10. Nick Cannon, 11th. Austin Rhodes in 12th. Jeff Nairn there in 13th. Sean Stevens, 14th. Ricky Utting, 15th. Jason Kratke in 16th. Keith Fonseca there, 17th. D. Allen Grote in 18th. Fire down the field. We got David Robertson in 19th. Lucas Nigels, 20th. Justin Coop there in 21st. Brian Wiggins, 22nd. Dakota Ehrman there in 23rd. John Thompson, 24th. Bill Hales in 25th. Lucas Gortman in 26th. Ryan Chapman, 27th. Joey Beck, 28th. Sean Derryman in 29th. And Douglas Ross Jr. will be rounding out your field for this evening. As Derek Garrison is still celebrating down the front stretch here at Grove. Now he pulls it on the pit road. We will see if anybody is here. We got Matthew Burton, our third place winner, here with us. Good evening, Matthew. You got a copy? Alrighty. Well, looks like you had a pretty decent run out there, finishing third here at the Glen. Nothing to really be too upset about. It is a technical track, from my standpoint anyway. I call it a technical track. Give us your thoughts. Not too many races where top three is still a lap down at the end, but I say it was still a pretty decent race after, with everything that might have went on. Yeah, we are heading for Daytona. You got any sponsors you would like to shout out to this evening? Alrighty, well, I forget when I looked at the points. I don't know where you're completely at with the points, but it's still early in the season to really tell where drivers will stack up. But still, great run tonight. So. What was that, Matthew? Most definitely. Well, we appreciate you coming out and enjoying yourself, and getting the top three is always a bonus, especially at these road courses. As I know for me, I'm about 5 seconds off of the pace. Well, and I know the other thing some drivers struggle with, and I really didn't see too much of it tonight, unless I just didn't see it on my cameras. Drivers giving it too much gas through some of the corners, as I know that can sometimes, especially coming off of the final corner. Turn one is another one where I know drivers struggle here at Watkins Glen. So I'm glad to see that most of the night, though, went fairly clean. Alrighty, Matthew. Well, I'll let you go get the car ready for Daytona for next week, and hopefully you get another great run next week. Alrighty, as we were waiting for our second or first place driver to show up here, I'm not exactly sure where I might find him. So, give me a moment. I'm gonna see if I can figure out what's going on. Thank you. All right, folks, we're trying to track down. We're not sure where the top two finishers have disappeared to, but we will get them. You will see if they're around here for momentarily. You want me to sign a All right, Derek Harrison, you got us? We are here trying to do our last, trying to do driver interviews here for the ending of the race. You looks like you had a great run there. I didn't know if anybody was going to have anything for Taylor at the beginning, but you sure, after those couple cautions, came out front. Yeah, things happen though. I mean, it might have been just a little bit heavy on the gas or some simple mistake like that. It happens. But I mean, he still come out in second, was chasing you down there at the end. He ended with a little bit over a second gap between you and him. Looks like towards the end, though, whenever you noticed that you were after that, and he was far enough back. Looks like you were saving your tires, even saving your equipment even more. Yeah, I know he made a mistake too. Few laps prior, when he went to pass you on the inside in turn one, he decided to try to go dirt track racing with the Xfinity car, and that didn't quite play out in his favor. But he got back up there, and I thought we were going to see a good battle there for the lead. You have sponsors you would like to thank this evening? Well, great win tonight. Hope you carry your luck over to next week as we go to the Super Speedway of Daytona. You have a great night there, Derek, and good luck next week, Daytona. All right, so that was our winner, Derek Garrison, Therefore, our winner here this evening at the at the Boomer Button Box 200. Sorry. Not sure where our second place driver. Oh, there he goes. Okay. He was here. Now he's gone. Thought I had the second place driver found, but now he's missing again. All right, there we are. Taylor declined an interview this evening, but hopefully we'll catch him another time. Great run, though, from the number 3, Johnny Taylor, here this evening at the Glen. As we've heard, this is not the easiest of tracks. As we move on to Daytona next week, please come in and watch us as we are finishing out this evening tonight. We want to give a shout out to the NSR SimWorks Graphics.com, and also to our race sponsor of Boomer Button Boxes, and also our white flag of the Top Split Setups. We want to thank them for coming on board for the white flag lap. So everybody have a great night. Hope you all enjoyed the racing here from the Glen as we are heading out now after the driver interviews. Garrison's going to go enjoy his victory. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please come back next week as we hit Daytona. You can also catch on the poll bringing you some of the NASCAR productions here throughout the week, and UDTV as well on Sunday night. So we should be back live on UDTV network tomorrow night, bringing you the WOTL late models.